What's up, y'all?
We're back with something brand new because we are led to you. And this week we are back with another episode of And You Think We're Peculiar?
Where we let you know it's okay not to be normal.
And today we got a very special guest.
Very special.
Our aunt, Rosetta Johnson!
Okay.
Hey, how you doing, Auntie?
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, y'all. I'm doing good. Working and going to school, being a wife and a mommy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot on your plate.
Yeah. That's
At least you're doing it with a smile.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
you know?
you. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we have you here to just answer a few questions.
Yeah.
But before we get into the interview, we are doing a challenge with everyone that we are interviewing.
Yeah.
So we are going to ask you to describe peculiar in 3 words without saying a name of yourself or a person.
Yeah.
And so we're going to ask you to be creative when you have these 3 words. And then at the end of all of these interviews, our viewers will vote who had the most creative 3 words. And then that person will get a gift card.
Yeah. There's a prize at the end of this. Yeah, so try to be as creative as possible.
3 words describing peculiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll let you take your time. Don't worry about it. And then you can just tell us
We'll give
when
you
you're
30
ready.
seconds, and then
Okay.
and you got 30 seconds to think.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to pause it at this point.
Okay. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I gotta do it while it's quick, while it's fresh. I'm gonna lose it.
Go.
Strange, different, weird.
We have to be unbiased because we know some of them.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
We know something.
I don't know what that means.
I'm kind of. You just lost me there. I was trying to.
What?
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay,
can't
okay.
say if it was good or not because
Yeah.
it's
We
not
can't
our
say
job.
anything.
Okay.
That's our producer's job to say who's gonna win what. So we just gotta. Yep.
Straight face it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did it.
All right. So we can go ahead and hop into these questions. So these are the questions that we came up with.
Mhm.
And so the first one is, tell us what makes you peculiar.
What makes me peculiar? Well, I was a virgin when I got married.
Wow.
That's
Just
a little
straight out the
They
gate.
just going boom right there.
I mean, I am a Christian. In the scripture, it says that I am a peculiar person just because of that alone, being a chosen generation. So with that being said, there are things I don't engage in. There are some things and choices I decided to make early on in my life. And, for some that was in my same age group, my peer group, they thought it was a little different.
Yeah.
They thought it was a little different, a little peculiar, you could say, a little strange. How come you're not going to the club, or how come you're not going to the party? How come you don't drink? Why don't you do that? What's wrong with that? That's different. That's weird. Everybody does it. A little peculiar.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about with our mom as we came up, as I had the idea for this series and as we were developing it. We were like, well, if you're a Christian, you're already peculiar.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get that basis out. Like, if you're a Christian, you are peculiar.
Right.
But, like, let's go deep down. Like, what else makes you peculiar?
Yeah.
What other choices are you making to stand out from the crowd or from people who are doing the same thing? And so you said you were a virgin and you said you are a Christian, and so that makes you peculiar.
Yeah.
And you touched a little bit, but if you could go into depth, what are some of the challenges you faced with making the decisions of going against the norm?
Wow. So many. I'm trying to figure out what lane to even start from. Well, I happen to be, and I'm not telling my siblings' testimony, but I was the first one in my family to be a virgin.
You kind of did tell their testimony.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I love you. We rock. No, but even in that, they have their own personal testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
They would not mind sharing that because it was because of their testimonies is why, and my choice is why I'm able to say this today. So I'm thankful for my siblings who kept it 100 with me, who kept it honest, but most importantly, wanted me to go to reach this milestone that, you know, some were not able to reach. And so it was a win for everybody.
Yeah.
But that alone, so you're dealing with the pressures, right, of society. I think it's very clear what our world pushes. Like I said, there wasn't too many people I could literally talk to about being a virgin in my age group, right? Anybody who was dating in high school, you were already experimenting with premarital sex. That was what you were doing. That was the thing. I had many people that were in my class that had children and beautiful children, you know, but it was a different situation. And while going in that, I had to make a conscious decision. Is this something that I'm willing to sacrifice for? Am I willing to wait for my husband? When he comes in fine, showing his muscles, can I really, for real, stay, this is what I'm going to do? And it was one time, I remember talking to my mom in the kitchen. And she said, Rosetta, are you a virgin because you want to be? Or are you a virgin because you never had the opportunity presented to you? That question really got my mind thinking. Was I doing this just because it sounded good? Oh, I'm a virgin. Or was it something because honestly, it wasn't really knocking at my door. And it wasn't until I started dating the man that I am now married to, Mr. Davion Johnson. Right, let's pause for the cause. And so, but it wasn't until that moment that I had to really realize, wow, I gotta really make up in my mind to say, no, I can't allow myself to go this far. It was to the point, and I've shared this many times before, I was so serious about it because I knew his testimony, right? He experienced premarital sex relationships. And I wanted to be something different, right? Because I knew what his testimony was. I knew what his past was. I didn't want to be just that other person, right? I wanted to be something different. I wanted to be something special. I wanted to be worth the wait. I wanted that. And so it started getting to a place where I started setting up little decoys for me to have a victory, right? I was so serious about it. I would have one of my good friends, Lauren, we call her Lolo, and I would say, Lolo, call me at 10 o'clock or 11. If I am not on my way home, friend, Mayday, 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 come get me. But that's how bad I wanted to be different. I wanted to win this thing. And so those are some of the obstacles I had to go through, right? Because you're dealing with the pressures of life and then your own, to not make it deep. But I mean, it's a reality. And I know sometimes talking about sex can get really weird, but it's a natural thing. Your body genuinely starts yearning for something that you never had. Isn't that crazy? Because God created it that way, which is a beautiful thing, but it's beautiful when it's done in marriage, right? And so many times, and God bless those who may have had a different testimony and, you know, they were able to renew their vows with God and within themselves to get back on the right foot, right? But it's a mindset to want to be kept when it's presented to you. Just like my mom said, are you kept because you want to be, or are you kept because you never have the opportunity? And that stuck with me. That was what I needed to finish it.
Wow.
To the owl, to the pulpit, to the I do.
That's good. I'm just kind of taking it in because this is one, especially for us, as we are making that decision to wait. I just like what you said. Are you doing it for you because you really want to, or is it because the opportunity has never been presented? Because I think that's for a lot of us, that's the case. We just never had the opportunity to actually go route.
You say like, I ain't gonna do nothing until like, oh wow, I actually did it on accident. Like, cause you're so strong without it, but then until it presents, like you said, then you're like
different story until you're actually in the moment, and you have to really make up in your mind, how bad do I want to keep this testimony? How bad? How important is my relationship with God?
Because once you do it, it's gone. The testimony is gone.
I mean, you have to find another one.
You have to find different testimony, but that ain't gonna be it.
Right. And the beauty of it, God is a forgiving God, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But if he has given you a way of an escape, so certain things you do not have to experience, why?
Yeah.
Why?
There's so many questions that I want to ask that are from viewer questions, so I'm just going to save it till when Malachi actually asks it. But the last question that we have was being peculiar a choice for you, or do you feel it's something you were born with?
I mean, obviously, because the household that I was raised in, and I shouldn't say obviously, because some of y'all don't know me, but I'm Auntie Zetta. And so my dad being a pastor, your grandfather, and my mom being a missionary, right? The household I grew up obviously would have nurtured me to be peculiar because I grew up in a Christian household. But it wasn't until I became an adult and had to make up in my mind to want to stay peculiar, to want to be different. That's where I would say it was a choice. Yes, it was instilled in me. Yes, but trust me, just because you grew up in a Christian household don't mean nothing. You still got to make Jesus your own choice. You still have to make a choice and say, am I going to give into this thing or am I going to hold on? The choice is yours because mommy and daddy ain't going to be everywhere. So what is in me? At this point, I had to go to what is in Rosetta's heart. What is she going to stand on? And I had to fight for myself. That this is something I want to fight for my children's children. I want to fight this thing for my husband. I want to fight this for the generation to come, that we can be kept. We don't always have to give in. We don't have to give into our flesh. We don't have to. It's a choice. So that's where I would say being peculiar became a choice for me, is when I became an adult and I had to really make up in my mind. And it goes back to, once again, what my mom asked me.
Yeah. I think for a lot of us, we're holding on to like our parents' relationship with God. And it's like, that ain't going to carry you that far. You're going to there's going to come a point in time where you're going to be like, no, I want this for myself, or I want it because God's been that.
It's like when our mom told us, and our parents, they're like, right now you're in a stage of where we're pouring into you and we're doing all that we can to make sure you're on the right path. But once you're gone, you make your own decisions. Once you're out of this household, once you turn and you have your own family, we can't, do what we used to as parents and just say, you can't do this, you can't do this. You're going to have to fight your own battles. So that's what, like, as right now, as teenagers, we're just accepting the teaching and really trying to learn and live the best way that we can.
Even then, we're starting to feel it. But in this conversation, they're not listening. Like, now I have to make the choice. No, I'm going to stand for Christ. Or when I'm out with my friends, then they may be doing something, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I just don't want to, because of what God's doing in my life. I think it's so good because, like I said, I'm just listening. I'm just taking it all in. I'm forgetting that I'm doing an interview.
Honestly, I'm just here. This is the Auntie Zetta show. I'm like, you entertain me.
I'm so happy to be here. And going back to what you said about your parents instilling you, what a blessing, right? Because most, and I shouldn't say most, but maybe some young people or teenagers or young adults, they don't have that influence that they can look to their parents as a good influence on them. And which is, many people are dealing with that, right? So the fact that you all have that as a tool to help launch you into a relationship with God, take advantage of it. Eat up every nugget your parents are telling you. What is so amazing is your parents were my youth pastors. And I remember like it was yesterday, sitting in the gym, sitting in the church, listening to my brother Ramon and to my sister Monica, teaching us teenagers at the time about getting a good relationship with God for ourselves. And when I tell you to take those nuggets, to take those things that they are telling you and apply it and ask God to help you in those areas where you are weak, I kid you not, you better do it quick, because when life comes, it's coming for real, right? And so to have a good relationship and a good grip with God for yourself is going to be life-changing, because life is coming. And what are you going to be anchored with? What are you going to be able to hold on to? What word do you have on the inside of you that you're going to be able to grab? Because when my mama died, I couldn't call her. I couldn't say, hey, mom, can you pray with me real quick? I'm going through some things on my job. Can you pray with me? I didn't have it no more.
Yeah.
Hey, mom, I'm sorry. I'm just really stressed out. I got some things going on. Can you pray with me real quick? I didn't have it no more. I had to go back. Rosetta, what have you been taught? What do you have in you?
Whoa. That's good.
Yes.
All of it. That's really good. I'm speechless. I'm lost
Honestly,
for words as an interviewer asking questions. That's something that I'm receiving even for me. So we just want to thank you for that.
Make sure I got from that, make sure you get the word deep down in your heart, because your crutches are not going to always be there. You're going to have to eventually learn how to walk on your own. So that's what I got from that. So we're wow. we have to ask some other questions from the viewers. But
I was going to say, as we transition to the viewer questions, we made sure that we asked them to keep it Sunday school appropriate.
Sunday school, Baby Shark,
preschooler.
Yeah, Baby Shark appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, this topic could go so left, but we wanted to keep it on one track.
I'm not a sex ed, okay?
Come on. So here's the first question that we have. It says, when was the first time you told your partner, Uncle Davion, that you wanted to wait?
Oh, right at the beginning. I mean, right when we made it official that we were talking or dating. When we started dating, that's when, we had to really make those lines clear. He kind of knew, I shouldn't say, well, he did know, because he knew I was, he knew I was saved. He knew I had a relationship with God. So, but it was something we still had to verbalize.
Yeah.
Tell you, when somebody really, really loves you, they will wait. Because let me tell you, I wasn't strong the whole time. So I don't even want to come off like that. There are moments when I wanted to throw in the towel. I was willing. And he had to remind me. Now, I'm saying this for a reason. Because even with his past, he had to remind me and said we wanted to wait. And that launched a whole nother respect that I had for him. That he really loved me enough to even remind me of something that I spoke, something that I said I wanted to do. He had to come back even when I got weak. So that's why it's very important, even when you're dating, be careful who you're dating with, that you're on the same page. Because right off the bat, if the person you dating ain't on the same page, stop playing yourself. No, he said he loved you and gonna respect me. Boo, stop.
Yeah, I love that. And then when you said, if they really love you, they'll wait. Because I know a lot of people think that, maybe I'll just do it because, but it's like, no, if they really love you, they'll wait. Don't let them peer pressure. It's not even, listen, get out. It's not even worth it.
Love is also respect. So because he respects you, he's like, I'm going to wait because that's love. It goes hand in hand.
It's funny. Even outside of that, like if we're like just talking about regular friendships, there's times like where I'll be talking, my friends will be like, no, like you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't talk about that because they love me and they know who I am. And they know what I'm standing for. So even when I may be weak in certain moments, they'll be like, no, like you need to keep going, like because that's what you said you're gonna do. Like so I just like that when you have people who really love you, like they'll encourage you or they'll remind you of the commitments you set.
They will.
That's real. All right, here is the second question that we have, or viewers. What boundaries did you set and when did you set them in the relationship? We know that you said kind of earlier, but what, if you can expound off of that, what boundaries and when did you set it?
Get you a good support system. If you're going to start dating, now for me, everybody's different. I dated because I wanted to be married. Like that was something so I don't know. It's hard to set boundaries when you don't have a goal.
Yeah.
If you don't have an aim, if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you're just, it's hard to keep a boundary if you don't have nothing you're aiming for. For me personally, I wanted to be married. That was something that I wanted. That was my desire. That was my goal. That's what I had in place. So I had to set up boundaries that were going to make sense for me to win, to get to that place as a virgin. And so, like I said, and I know it sounds funny, but that's literally what I had to do. I would bring friends along sometimes with me on some of our dates. Majority of all of them. We always had a group But there are moments, obviously, there's going to be times where everybody's not going to be around you, you know. But I would have friends call me to check up on me, and it would be friends that I knew would keep me accountable. Not Pookie and them that don't care what you're doing. Okay, those are not the friends we're talking about. Oh, girl, I forgot to call you. How you doing? No. I needed somebody who was reliable. And somebody who was in my corner that was going to keep me accountable. And so I had my good friend Lolo, and she literally would call me and say, hey, you good? And that's exactly how the conversation would go. I'm like, girl, I'm good. I'm on my way home right now. She's like, okay, good. And that's it.
Shout out to Lolo.
Girl.
Shout out to my friend Lolo.
Hey. MVP. Listen, that's a real one. If you want to check who your real friends are, we don't even have to do, like, if you really want to check who your real friends are, those are the people that will help you and go out their way to help you. Like, she didn't have to call you at certain times, like, hey girl, how you doing? Are you doing good? But the fact that she did that, that's that. If they ain't willing to help you and go out their way to help you, so why I say that right there.
Friends, man, gotta get you some good friends.
And do it now. Don't wait until you're in that situation. No, do little things like, are they going to be there? Like, just simple commitments that you ask them to do. If they can't even show up for that,
send you a text, something.
I know.
Honestly.
And one more thing I would add to that is also I kept line of communication with, obviously not just my friends, but now everybody's different. I was very close to my mom, and you know, so different things I would share with her if there was things I was struggling with, because I just wanted some type of accountability, right? And even with my mother-in-law, at the time, she wasn't my mother-in-law. Obviously, she was just my boyfriend's mom, and I would talk to her about things because I wanted help, I wanted direction, and I wanted to do it the right way. But this was boundaries for me. I wanted certain things to be in the know so I could be held accountable.
Yeah. Good.
That's great. And another thing that I wanted to comment on was earlier when you said you were dating because you had a goal, and which was to get married. Because that's a big thing. Our parents always tell us, make sure whenever you date, you don't just date to date.
That's
but you
what gets messed up.
Yeah, because then you'd be like, well, we're not really waiting for that. Like,
and because, like you say, because there's no set goal, you just do whatever because you're not really committed to the relationship because it's just for fun. That's why there's 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds that get pregnant because they're just having fun because they just want to have fun. But when you date to get married. And when you date to get married, that means there's a goal. And then when you have a goal, you'll be able to set and wait and do stuff like that you did. So that's a great thing that you said as well. So here's another question that we have. What was the hardest part of waiting?
It was the temptation of it all.
Yeah.
That honestly is the wanting to know. I'm trying to keep it PG. Wanting to know what that experience was all about is the curiosity. And like I said, because sex is such a natural thing and it should not be a taboo to talk about. God created it, but he created it between man and woman. And so like I said, your body naturally starts desiring it, but you have to be responsible to tell your body, hey, now you're going to chill out and wait. You're going to be all right. But it was that was the hardest part, the curiosity of it all, my body wanting to experience it, honestly.
Curiosity, that's a good one right there too. All right, here's our last question that we have from the viewers. Was desire and motivation enough?
I would say no, because you can desire something. People desire to lose weight, right? But what do you do with that? I'm in that boat now. God help me now. What are you going to do though? You're going to have to put action to it, right? You're going to have to set things in place to win. It makes no sense to say, oh, I want to be kept. But if I'm going on dates and staying out to midnight with me and my boo with no type of accountability around me, then what do you think is going to happen? You're setting yourself for pitfalls. Don't purposely set up things for you to not win. those are the type of things that make it hard and difficult when you have nothing in place for you to win. One of the things I was going to say, hold on, I don't want to lose my my grip here. Maybe it'll come back to me. But that's what I would say. You got to have things in place in order to reach those things.
That's good. I have a question. Was it worth it?
Absolutely. Thank you. You just brought up my point. You know, it was worth it. You want to know why it was worth it?
Why?
The respect that it established in my marriage. The respect that it established within my marriage. First, the respect that I had for my husband, for him to remind me of our conversations awaiting, and then the respect he had for me. Because we remember, all his other relationships were different. So it established a different type of relationship in our marriage early on. And I don't know about all the viewers, so I don't know about people's relationship with God. I don't know about all that. But I know for us, since we are believers, it really, I believe that it opened up doors that for our marriage and for our union early on because of our obedience. Not because we're perfect. Don't get it twisted. Not because we're perfect, but because of our obedience. And I really feel like sometimes those type of things are overlooked in when establishing your marriage and your relationships. It's absolutely worth it. You know, your children, you know what I mean, that are to come after you. We don't, sometimes when we are experiencing life, sin doesn't always show us the after effects. It only shows us the moment. That's it. The devil is never going to show you the after effects of when you give in to sin, whatever sin it is. It doesn't matter. He never shows you that. Because why? You wouldn't do it. Don't show you that when you give yourself to somebody and that person decides they don't want to be with you no more and they just leave. He doesn't show you when you have a baby and you're trying to figure it out. How am I going to do this by myself because the other parent doesn't desire to be a part? When you engage in a sexual relationship, you literally, the Bible says, and the two shall become one. It's such an emotional experience. It's not to be played with because it was only ordained and created within marriage. But the world, the society, the movies, the music has desensitized it as if it's just a kiss. As it's just a hug. And it's way deeper than that. I have literally talked to friends that when we would talk that had already engaged in premarital sex, and the torment, the frustration, the hurt, and the pain that they were dealing with emotionally because they did not know how to navigate in something that was so massive. And if the world is never going to explain it to you like that because they don't know. We know. This is worth the wait for more reasons than one. But I would say this, just to leave it with this, it's worth the wait because if they love you enough, you want to do it with somebody that you know you're going to spend the rest of your life with in marriage and a union. And you want, for those of you who are Christians, you want God to be glorified in your relationship early on. Yes, he's forgiving. But why not, if you have the chance to do it right now, do it right now. If you can do it right now, do it right now. Don't do right later. Do it now.
My gosh. Wow. Dad. Yeah. Thanks. That's so good. All of it. I love you too.
You know it's good when you start chewing your gum hard.
No, like I forgot where I was.
Thank you.
I love you guys, and
I love you too.
We love you too.
You guys can do it. To those who are listening, young and old, it's gonna be hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. But if you want to, you can. If you want to be kept, he'll keep you.
She kind of, she was about, we were about to ask the question.
Well, if you want to just rephrase it, we're asking everyone that we're interviewing us to give Malachi and I just a piece of advice, a one sentence piece of advice.
If you want to be kept, he'll keep you. Will it be hard at times? Absolutely. We're human, right? And the beauty of it, God knows that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying, oh, you're never gonna. It's never going to get hard. It's never going to get tough. He never said that, but he did say, if you want to be kept, keep you. He'll give you the strength to make it, whatever it is, even if it's not sex, whatever it is. God will keep you. But do you want to be? Do you want to be? So you can do it. We all have a journey to travel, but we can do it.
Because if you want, you'll find a way to get it done. It will be done. Because if you don't want it, the first knock at the door, all right, I'm here. I'm just accepting it. But if you really want it, like you said, you put boundaries. You go out your way to make sure it's not gonna happen. So, well, thank you for coming on.
I know this is gonna help a lot of people the way it has helped us.
Thank you guys for inviting me. This means I'm still cool. Yes.
Yes, I did.
See, no, we were on Growing Gracefully. If you guys don't know, that's her channel.
Please explain, what you doing on your YouTube.
So Growing Gracefully, Rosetta Johnson, Growing Gracefully. If you have it, I'm also on YouTube. Check it out. I got different clips, different videos where I'm just talking to the people about real life issues, from grieving to dealing with those who are, desiring to be pregnant but are having issues. I'm talking about it all. As a woman, I've seen some things. So come and check me out.
Yes, we will have it in the link description. Yeah. If you like our humor, the way we talk about the Word of God, and you are a woman, go over there. Go. Because there's only so much we can talk about as teens.
Because teens, as a guy, as a girl,
but doing it. I love it. This is an awesome platform. This is an awesome platform. I love what y'all doing. I support.
Thank you. And we got the support of the auntie.
We got it.
We got the support of the auntie. We got it. We got it.
Well, we thank you for joining us, and we thank you for taking time out of your day. We love you too.
Love you.
All right, and so that is it. Yeah. We want to give another shout out to our aunt for taking us.
Woo! That was my woo woo, but then I sung it.
Okay.
I just sang it.
If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so that you can get notified every time we post another video. And stay tuned for another episode of Anything We're Peculiar,
where we let you know it's okay not to be normal.
And so, Malachi, while they're waiting, what can they do?
Well, I want you guys to be fresh. Okay? I want you guys to be blessed.
All right.
You guys don't see my bracelet has a cross in it. You guys not gonna see it. But especially, I want you guys to do your best.
All right.